Hello, Woody Shoemaker here. It's Friday, and I want to tell you that you're not alone. And I get this from the story of Elijah in the Old Testament, 1 Kings, chapters 18 and 19, when Elijah challenged the prophets of Baal. And he had said twice to God, I alone am left. And in this story, which I'm presuming that you're very familiar with, and so I won't give all the whole background to it, but God said to him, after he gave him some new assignments, and had him rest and refuel, God said to him, Yet I will leave 7,000 in Israel, all the knees of which have not bowed to Baal, and all the mouths of which have not kissed him. Now that's you and that's me. As we seek to live for Jesus in this amazingly interesting day that we live in, for sure, we come to see evil very clearly and to love the right, and yet we find ourselves very much alone. And while God told Elijah, you have got 7,000 that haven't bowed the knee, that sounds like a lot, but it represents probably 1% or maybe even 0.5% of the people in Israel at the time. I'm not saying today that there's just a very, very small percent, but sometimes you feel like there's very few of us, and maybe we should just cave and give in to the culture. Maybe we should bow down. Holding out is difficult. Not going along with things, not being able to agree with things that are going on may make you feel like I do, alone. So Elijah had a great victory at Mount Carmel, calling down fire on the altar. And it was a great political and spiritual victory, but it was short-lived. And so when Elijah found out that Jezebel sent him the black spot, as it were, he fled 90 miles south into Beersheba. And there he said, O Jehovah, take my life, for I'm no better than my fathers. In other words, I haven't been able to bring reform, even though we had a great blessing. It wasn't lasting, and it wasn't. And so when God finally caught up with him about 100 miles south at Mount Sinai, he gave him some new assignments. After he had him rest and refuel, recover, he gave him some new assignments. What I want you to do, 3 things I want you to do. Actually, Elijah only did one of those 3 things: appoint Elisha to be his understudy and to take over for him. The other 2 things Elisha did. But he said, almost as an aside, yet I have left 7,000 in Israel, all the knees of which have not bowed to Baal, and the mouths of which have not kissed him. And so, however many that represents in our day, I don't know, God knows, but you and I are not going to bow down, and we're not going to go along with what is evil, but humbly and lovingly, we're going to speak the truth and try to do good in our culture, and be not weary in well-doing. That encouragement is in the scripture, because it is wearying to keep doing the right thing when those around you aren't, or you're not feeling much support. But there's a lot of support around you. There are a lot of people that have not bowed down. There are many wonderful things out on YouTube. So I'm going to try to keep these talks very short, once a week, and encourage us that we are not alone. There's a great cloud of witnesses, those who have gone before us, and people surrounding us in our present day. So don't be discouraged. We are together, even though geographically we're apart. And that's the interesting thing to note of the 7,000. They weren't in a big group. They were forbidden to meet in big groups because of Jezebel's and Ahab's purge of Yahweh worship in Israel, about 800 BC. But they were here and there as individuals and as families. So be encouraged. God is with you. God is with me. And this is Friday, July 11th, 2024. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bless you.